Why do you feel like everyone is flying past you in the corners, even though you've got a bike that's just as fast as theirs? I'll tell you right now, it's not your bike, it's you. And before you get defensive, that's actually good news because it means you can fix it. Hey everyone, Matthew here with Autozium, and today we're talking about one of the most frustrating things for riders, especially newer ones. Why corners feel so intimidating, why you're slower than you should be, and how to finally build the confidence to lean your bike without fear. So let's start here. If you feel slow in the corners, it's not your bike. I don't care if you're on a Ninja 400, a Harley, or a BMW S1000RR. Every single one of those machines can lean harder and carve faster than most riders ever let them. The limiting factor isn't horsepower, tires, or suspension. It's you. And that's actually great news because it means you can fix it. See, bikes are engineered with more cornering potential than 90% of us will ever tap into. The chassis geometry, the suspension, even standard road tires. They're all designed for lean angles that would make you sweat just looking at them in photos. Your bike can already handle the turn. The weak link is the rider who doesn't yet trust it. And that's where the frustration comes in. You're out on a ride, you hit a set of twisties, and your buddies start disappearing through the curves. You're left upright, white knuckling the bars, wondering if you bought the wrong bike. But the truth is, it's not your machine, it's your mindset. That's a game changer because, unlike physics, mindset and habits are something you can work on. You can retrain yourself to ride smoother, looser, and with more confidence. And once you do, you'll realize your bike has been waiting all along to show you what it's really capable of. Which brings us to the real issue: why most riders don't feel that confidence. Why, instead of flowing through corners, they tense up and ride like every bend is out to kill them. 2. The survival riding problem: tense, upright, and slow. Here's where things go wrong for most riders. They get stuck in survival mode. And survival mode feels like safety, but it's actually the opposite. Picture this: you're approaching a corner. Instead of looking through it, your eyes drop to the patch of pavement right in front of your wheel. Your arms lock straight, your shoulders are tight, pop, and you're still on the brakes way too deep. By the time you tip in, you're coasting, rigid upright, and hoping the corner ends before you run wide. That's not cornering, that's surviving. The problem is, all those habits, staring down, stiff arms, braking too long, are fear responses. They make you feel cautious, but they actually make you slower and less stable. Stiff arms prevent the bike from naturally leaning. Looking down kills your ability to see the exit. Braking mid-turn unsettles the suspension. It's like stacking obstacles in front of yourself before you even make the lean. And here's the kicker: once you ride like this a few times, it becomes your default. The bike always feels sketchy in corners, so you tense up even more. The tension makes the bike harder to control, which reinforces the fear. It's a vicious cycle that keeps thousands of riders stuck at the back of group rides, convinced they just aren't corner people. But here's the thing: you can break that cycle. The riders who fly through corners aren't fearless superheroes. They've just replaced survival habits with control habits. And that's what we're diving into next. 3. What confident riders do differently. So, what's the difference between you, locked in survival mode, and that rider who looks like they're carving corners with zero effort? The answer is simple: they ride with trust instead of tension. Watch a confident rider, and you'll notice right away: their eyes aren't glued to the front wheel. They're already looking where they want to go. Their arms aren't stiff. They're loose, elbows bent, letting the bike move underneath them. They're not panic braking mid-turn. They've already set their speed before leaning in. And once they're in the curve, they roll on the throttle smoothly, driving through with coasting. That's the formula: eyes, body, throttle. It looks effortless because it is. They're not fighting the bike, they're working with it. The result? Smooth lines, stable lean, and corner speed that feels natural instead of forced. And the beautiful part? This isn't magic. It's not even about talent. It's just habits. Habits that any rider, including you, can develop with time and practice. But even when you understand what to do, fear still creeps in. And the number one fear riders have in corners? That leaning too far means you'll instantly slide out. Which brings us to the next myth we've got to destroy. 4. The tire grip myth. Let's crush one of the biggest lies riders tell themselves. If I lean too much, my tires will just give up and I'll crash. Wrong. Modern motorcycle tires are absolute miracles of engineering. Even the ones on your average commuter bike are capable of way more grip than most riders ever use. Here's the reality: unless your tires are bald, underinflated, or you're trying to corner on gravel, they can hold lean angles far beyond what feels comfortable. The real limiter isn't the rubber, it's the rider's brain screaming too far, long before the physics actually run out. Think about the lean angles you see in MotoGP or even in track days with average riders. Those same round profile tires are hooking up at angles that scrape knees, pegs, and exhausts. Now compare that to your average street rider who panics at a gentle lean and stands the bike back up mid turn. The tires aren't the problem, it's trust. That lack of trust makes riders chop the throttle, grab the brakes, or sit the bike up, all of which really do cause a crash. It's not leaning that betrays you, it's panicking. Once you believe your tires can handle more than your gut tells you, you unlock a whole new level of corner confidence. And this is where the next skill comes in. If you want a corner like the riders you admire, you can't just avoid braking in a turn. You need to learn how to manage it properly. Which means it's time to talk about trail braking. Trail braking, taming the mid corner panic. Now let's talk about one of the sneakiest habits that slows riders down: grabbing the brakes mid corner like they're a panic button. If you've ever felt your bike suddenly stand up and run wide when you tap the brakes halfway through a turn, you know exactly what I mean. That's because when you abruptly brake while leaned over, you're asking your tires to do two big jobs at once: change direction and slow down. And when you overload them, they fight back. Here's the thing: confident riders don't avoid braking in corners, they just do it differently. It's called trail braking. And no, it's not some advanced racetrack only technique. It's actually one of the most natural and useful habits you can learn for the street. Instead of snapping off the brakes before you lean, you gradually release them as the bike tips in. That little bit of front brake pressure keeps the suspension settled, keeps weight on the front tire, and gives you more feel for what the bike's doing. Done right, it's smooth, controlled, and way less scary than chopping the brakes and hoping for the best. Think of trail braking like easing off the gas in your car as you round an off ramp. You're not slamming the brakes, you're shaping your speed into the corner. It gives you options. If the turn tightens up, you've got room to adjust. If a car drifts into your lane, you're already in a balanced state to react. And most importantly, it keeps your line clean instead of that wide, oh no, I'm heading for the gravel feeling. Eyes, body, throttle, the cornering trinity. All right, so you've got your braking under control. What comes next? This is where cornering confidence really clicks, because the rest is all about your eyes, your body, and your throttle. Get these three in sync, and suddenly corners stop feeling like a survival test and start feeling like flow. Let's start with your eyes. They're your steering wheel. If you stare at the patch of road right in front of your tire, your brain panics because it's too much detail, too fast. Instead, lift your vision and lock on to where you actually want to go: the exit, the line through the curve, the open space ahead. Your bike follows your vision. It's that simple, but it's also that powerful. Next, your body. Ever feel like the bike is trying to lean, but you're fighting it? That's tension in your arms and shoulders, holding the bike back. Loosen up. Let the handlebars float. Shift your weight just a little to the inside, drop your inside shoulder, and let the bike move underneath you. You don't have to drag a knee to ride smoothly. Just stop being a statue and let your body flow with the machine. And finally, throttle. Smooth is everything. Don't stab it, don't chop it. Feed in steady power as you arc through the corner. Think of it as painting a line with your wrist. consistent, controlled, connected. That balance of eyes, body, and throttle is what separates riders who survive corners from riders who own them. The practice problem. Why you're still stiff. Here's the truth nobody tells you. You don't fix cornering fear by bombing twisty mountain roads and hoping practice makes perfect. If you're already stiff and nervous, throwing yourself into high pressure corners just burns those bad habits deeper. That's why so many riders stay stuck in the slow group year after year. They're practicing the wrong way. The smart way? Strip away the pressure. Start in an empty parking lot. Work on slow speed U turns, figure eights, and tight circles. Why? Because those drills teach you to trust lean angle at low speeds where mistakes aren't costly. Once you've got that feel, move to a quiet back road you know well. Ride the same corner multiple times, each pass focusing on one thing: eyes up, body loose, throttle smooth. Confidence grows in layers, not in leaps. Every pro rider you've ever watched started the same way. Nobody wakes up carving corners like Rossi. They built that trust over time, stacking reps until their body and brain stopped fighting the bike and started flowing with it. If you're patient with yourself, you'll get there too. And when it clicks, man, it feels unreal. From fear to flow. Here's the payoff. Once you've put these pieces together, trail braking, eyes, body throttle, and smart practice, corners stop being the thing you dread and start being the thing you crave. That switch is massive. Suddenly, you're not the one holding up the group ride. Suddenly, the bike feels like it's talking to you instead of fighting you. And suddenly, the same corners that used to make your stomach knot up feel like the best part of the ride. Because cornering isn't just about speed, it's about control. It's about rhythm. It's about being connected to the machine in a way straight line riding will never give you. And when you finally feel that flow, it's addictive. That's the moment you realize it was never about horsepower. It was always about you. So if you're tired of feeling like the slow one in every group ride, remember this: it's not your bike holding you back. It's the fear, the tension, and the bad habits. Fix those, and suddenly corners go from terrifying to addictive. And let me leave you with this: corner speed isn't about looking cool or keeping up with your buddies. It's about control, confidence, flow. When you've got those, the speed comes naturally. If this hits home for you, hit that subscribe button, because here on Autozium, we're breaking down the skills that actually matter, not just the shiny stuff. And trust me, once you get your cornering dialed in, riding feels like a whole new world.